So, entry number 2, Monday, May 8th, 2017, 7:23 p.m., location still within my house, still within my office. So I met with my first patient today. His name is Iago. He was found guilty last year of charges of attempted murder as well as accessory to murder in a case involving a young couple where a man and a wife were assuming to be friends with him at the time. Iago helped the husband commit the murder of his wife, and what we're assuming is under heat of passion attempted to murder the husband as well. Now, we're going to be looking into this a little bit further, but I don't want to get too much into the case. As far as are my thoughts on him so far, I already filled out my report, so I'll be leaving all those details in there later. But my initial impressions, I can understand the homicidal tendencies. I see them. I understand that he still seems to show signs of no remorse towards the actions that he committed, so we are still right now trying to work on the process of helping to rehabilitate him. I don't believe that it will be too difficult. He still seems to be very rational and still very sane with his capacities, so I don't know if it's going to be... it's the matter of time at this point. My supervisor let me know today that we are going to be doing a rotation schedule, though, with our patients, so I'm not going to be working with Iago full-time. I will probably be seeing him again next week. Instead, I'm going to be meeting a new patient tomorrow, and Iago will be going with one of my coworkers. I'd much rather be able to work with him personally, but I'm not going to complain about the situation. I'm still just glad to be able to work the extra hours. So, other than that, I don't really have that much to report in this situation, so I guess I'll just leave it at that. So, until tomorrow. Entry number 3. It is Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. The time is 7:31 p.m. The location is still my house within my office. Now, I met with my second patient today, and quite different from my first patient. His name is Lear. I'll start there. And he is much older. He's exhibiting signs of dementia, of depression. He was admitted to Will and Liam Hospital under the recommendation of his 2 daughters. He apparently went through a very tragic event recently where he lost his 3rd daughter, and it's affected him very, very apparently. He shows no signs of being able to communicate effectively. He has a hard time being able to understand anything that is said to him. Very simply put, this man is his mental capacities are degrading every single day. I ordered a couple tests to be performed on him to check for Alzheimer's, to check for Parkinson's, to see if maybe something with his body might be being affected right now. However, and I hate to say this, despite the fact that no tests are done yet, but I'm very skeptical about the chances of him being able to make a full recovery, so we'll do the best that we can, but I feel sorry for him. Entry number 4, May 10th, Wednesday, 2017. Time is 7:09 p.m. Location, my house, my office. My patient today, I have to say a slight part of me is jealous, simply because of the fact that I am a huge pessimist on real-world issues and in real life. And this gentleman, this gentleman named being Merrythought, he suffers from clear signs of dementia, but at the same time, he also suffers from a very theoretical idea in psychology that we have, which is called excessive happiness disorder. Now, we're still defining and identifying what exactly constitutes excessive happiness. But typically speaking, happiness versus sadness are given a positive to negative relationship. Now, the thing is that being overly happy is still a psychological disorder, just as much as something like being overly negative in life, being overly sad, overly angry, can be either depression or having anger management issues. It's still the same boat. Now, this man, I just find him fascinating because it's just a great opportunity for us to be able to learn more about the condition itself, and at the same time, it's something that I personally look forward to because in my life, I never thought that I would actually be able to work with someone who is going through this kind of, well, I don't really want to call it a disease, to be honest, because it sounds fantastic to me what he's going through. But I'm just looking very forward to this experience. So I will be meeting again with him next week for sure. I know that my coworker is going to also probably find him very enjoyable tomorrow. And I just look forward to this experience. I'm liking so far this study. This is going really well. Entry number 5, Thursday, May 11th, 2017, 7:41 p.m., my house, my office. Today's patient fascinated me not for the same reasons as the other ones. Simply for the fact that his story, it's what really moved me today. His name is Shylock, and he was a very successful businessman in his hometown. However, under fire from his society, being demonized, being ostracized, as well as just hitting a very, very huge financial hit, he ended up losing a lot of his stability in place, and out of depression and just a general sadness that he developed from it, he was no longer able to live with the society that he was in and admitted himself to Will and Liam Hospital. I listened to him for a little bit today as he and I were discussing the events going on with his life, and this man, he did nothing wrong. He did everything fair. If I'm assuming everything that he tells me, by the way, is true, and I have very little reason to believe that it is not true. I do not believe that he shows any signs of mental instability. But if he did everything that he said that he did, and if he was living in the circumstances that he was, then he should have been doing just fine. However, and this is much like what I see the rest of reality around us in life, is simply a man who was born at the wrong place at the wrong time, and life just punished him for it. I know that he is right now receiving rehabilitation services in order to help him be able to cope with his losses and the way that he was treated. I intend to make every effort to help him out in his situation, as well as conducting my other reports. And I know what it's like personally to be hit the way that he was. So, like I said, it just hits a little home with me too. Entry number 6, Friday, May 12th, 2017. Time is 10:04 p.m. and the location is still my house. I met a patient today named Lavinia. She was admitted to the Will and Liam Hospital shortly after she had gone to a police station. She was a victim of sexual assault and battery. And when she arrived, her hands had been completely cut off with a couple of bandages sustaining them, and she had her tongue cut out. We're assuming in this case by her father, whom she later ended up helping us in the report figure out who it was that committed the crime. And she's been admitted to Davers on account of the gravity of her situation, as well as in an attempt to help her go under speech rehabilitation therapy and therapy for the trauma. She exhibits a fear of men at the moment. I went in today to meet her with her caretaker from the hospital that she came from, as well as one of my other coworkers who's also female. She had almost no conversation with me today. It was really hard for me to be able to talk to her at all. And I've had my peace with this, but I'm personally shocked whenever I hear about these kinds of things happen, and I always feel for them whenever they whenever the patients go through things like this, whenever anyone goes through like this, it's just awful, and I just can't believe that this is something that actually happens that's normal. It's not normal, but it's not an impossibility. As soon as I'm able to break through to her, I'm going to try and do everything I can to help her out as well. There's not really much for me to say at this point. I couldn't do much talking with her. I just hope she recovers from her trauma soon.